This is Primetime Sports, WGN.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSports.com and Big G TV.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. Danny Brewer, welcome to the Coaches Show this morning. You know, I'm really, really happy because I'm here in the studio with Will Kriesky, mastermind of Riverdale football. Coach, how are you this morning?
Well, I've been better, but, doing well. Played tough one last night. Tough game. Kids played hard, made too many mistakes. You know, the lights came on, and some of them lost their minds a little bit, and I got to go back and fix that, get that corrected. I thought we had a good fall camp, but I don't think I prepared them for some situations. They were, we lost our minds, and but we're going to get better. We dropped some balls that we shouldn't have, and made some decisions that we shouldn't have, and celebrated a little bit too much after some plays. But it's all learning experience. Nice Catholic and Coach Ed Owens do a great job, and it was a great game.
Coach, that's what I want to touch on first is just what that game means. You know, things like that are great for high school football. Intersectional matchup, private school versus public school. I mean, I think all that stuff is wonderful, and that's the foundation for building building this wonderful product we call high school football.
Yeah, it's a good game. It was a good matchup for both schools, and their league is just as tough as our league. You know, they got the McCaulays, the Baylors in their league, and they're gonna have they have a really tough schedule, and so for them to choose to go have a tough non-district game, I respect Coach Ed Owens because it was a physical game up front. Both teams come out and knew they played a football game, and I think both teams got better from it. Unfortunately, we were on the losing end of that, but we got to go back to work and get better. We have another private school, Tough Father Ryan, coming into the house this Friday, so we can't mope around too much. I told the kids last night that's 1 to 10. If we mope and pout, it'll be a long season, but if we get back to work, we can fix the little mistakes, and our motto's all off season's been find a way, and if we can find a way to get better, we'll be all right.
Coach, I think you will be all right because you've definitely got pieces to the puzzle. Let's talk a little bit about the third quarter. You're down 13-0 at half. Didn't play well in the first half at all. Made mistakes and basically gave them their 2 scores. Mm-hmm. But when you think about the third quarter, you dominated the third quarter. You won that 6-0. But still, I think they ran 5 offensive plays. Your defense really stepped up, creating turnovers. And that shows a lot of fight because you're 13-0 at the halftime. You could have turned your tails, but you didn't. You came out fighting.
No, the kids kept fighting, and again, we moved the ball all night. We just couldn't get it in the end zone. And that's the frustrating part. We get it down to the 30 or the 20. And, we kicked 2 field goals, and we just couldn't get it in the end zone. And we have all new receivers, new quarterback. It's all going to take time. We've been harping on them, about working together and staying and doing the little things and doing extras. And now they're understanding why we preach those things and what we do. And the little mistakes got us. And that is the frustrating part. Some discipline issues, and we'll get that situated and fixed. And they'll spend some extra time with Coach Haley at practice. But, it's all learning experience. Nobody's hurt. It's a non-district game, and we gotta buckle our chin straps and get back at it.
So I think number 8. Did he have 2 picks last night? Was the same kid that had both picks in the third quarter there?
Aiden Evans. Yes, he had 2 picks. Yes.
Yeah, and both those were great plays where it's tight coverage. One of the plays he jumped the route and got it. So got to be proud of that kid. I mean, like I said, a lot of fight on defense, especially.
No, Aiden's our leader on defense. He's been a 2-year starter on linebacker and doing a great job. And again, he's one I talked about last week that I was really hard on this offseason because I knew we needed his leadership, and he stepped up and done a great job with the leadership. And I'm proud of him. And like you said, when plays need to be made, he made plays.
Because they are no joke. You're absolutely right. Knoxville Catholic is a very talented school. They've got lots of pieces of the puzzle too. So you got to be proud of how you stepped up defensively, especially because, like I said, one of those touchdowns. Well, both of them basically were kind of interception results on their part. One was a pick 6. So defensively, you really only gave up about 1 score.
Yeah, we did. Defensively, they did a great job and they held them and only gave, like you said, only gave up 6. But again, it's a team game, and we got to win in all phases, and got to play better. I thought our special teams played pretty decent last night. They created some turnovers. They blocked the extra point. They blocked the field goal. So that's where we told our kids where we had to get them is in the special teams game, and I'm proud of the kids for stepping up and really going all out in the special teams. And unfortunately, we couldn't capitalize on their mistakes, and that again, that's the frustrating part. Like we created a fumble on kickoff, and then we had somebody shove somebody at the end of the play, and we got a 15. So then we moved the ball back. 15. We got that's not who we are, and that's not what we're about, and that's very uncharacteristic. And again, we'll fix that. And the emotions when the lights came on, I keep saying it, we lost our minds a little bit, and that's on me, and I'll get it fixed, and I'll get them better.
So the encouraging thing about that, Coach, is those are all mental things that are fixable. When you don't have chicken, it's hard to make chicken salad. You got some chicken now.
Yeah.
You got some chicken. You just got to get the right mixture in there. So that's encouraging, I think.
Yeah, and what was frustrating part is I felt like we could have had them in the fourth, but we kept killing ourselves because I felt like with our depth, because you could start seeing our receivers run past their DBs. They were worn down. A lot of those guys went both ways, and they were getting tired. And there were 6 offensive plays we had. Like you said, they only had 5 offensive plays in the third quarter. When the fourth quarter, I don't know if you noticed, all their defensive guys, 6 plays in a row, they had a defensive guy cramp up.
Oh yeah.
And one that was messing up our rhythm, so that was smart on their part. But 2, our guys were still going. Corbin Reynolds was running by them. We just couldn't get the connections. We dropped a wide open pass that would have set up at the 3-yard line that would have set us up, bounced off our chest. Just little things like that. It's just frustrating. I sit up and watched the film last night, and it just eats at you, and because it's a coulda, woulda, shoulda,
Oh yeah, that's the story of my golf game. But because the tying touchdown, we got called back because of a penalty.
Yeah, and then we had that. We had the tying touchdown call back too. Also, so it's just little stuff that just ate at us, and that's what we preached that all off season about the little things. And again, it got us, and we got to fix it. We got to grow up fast and fix it.
Well, I think that everybody, from what I saw last night, you've got a good pass game. You didn't execute necessarily well, but the running game, I was impressed with your running game last night, Coach.
Yeah, we did a good job there. Coach Barnes and Coach Pelchat and them guys did a great job. They rotated in Jacob Vaughn. Jacob Vaughn's a sophomore, and he got some wheels on him, and he's going to get better with every game. And then Chris did a good job. CP is a senior, and he bounced around from receivers to corner to running back, and he just wants to play, and he's just a kid that smiles. He come in my office after the game and just gave me a hug, said he's sorry, but he's going to keep working, and that's just the type of seniors we have. And then Hudson Fuqua, who starts on our defense, also runs the ball some and did a really good job. And, Gavin's helmet popped off, and he immediately just sprints in and ran a play at quarterback. But that's Hudson. He's so smart, he can play almost any position on our offense or defense.
Right, and you had the spirit last night was really good. Maybe sometimes they need to kind of dial it back a little bit,
yes.
But you got to be pleased with the spirit of your team last night.
I do, and sometimes that's they take their attitude to their head coach, and sometimes it's my fault because I get all going and gassed up, and I need to do a better job of staying calm and not getting so fired up, because they play with a lot of emotions, and that's just because their head coach is emotional, and that's how they are, and so a lot of that is on me, and I have to fix that. I'm not putting any blame on a 16, 17-year-old kid, man, and I got to do a better job as a head coach, and again, we'll get it fixed.
Well, Coach, I think that the passion is one of the things that makes Riverdale football, and you've got that, and you embody that, and I think that oftentimes you're right. The team is an image of the coach, but that's a good thing. In your case, that's a good thing.
Well, I appreciate it, and again, like I said, we're going to get it right. Defensively, Caleb Woods, I thought he played up front. I thought he played really well and did a good job. I thought Anthony Gunn, Jaron Hollins, I thought all those guys defensively up front played good. Czar Morris, the front seven played exceptionally well. And so, I can't sit up here and be just doom and gloom,
No, absolutely not.
And then offensively, we had some pieces and had some things, and we just got to get it fixed.
Well, I think you will, Coach, because like I said, it's very encouraging. The defense gave up one big play, an 81-yard touchdown. That's how they scored. Mm-hmm. The other two weren't the defense's fault. So I think that there's a lot of encouraging things to be thinking about when you talk about Riverdale football. Father Ryan coming up, you said you don't have time to pout because you don't. So tell me a little bit about what you want to see this week.
We got to get back to work, and we got receivers and quarterbacks got to get on the same page, and they got to get on the same page with Coach Barnes, and just figure the little things out. Coach Barnes does a great job. His offense is very complex, and so they just got to learn and got to understand what they need to be doing and their responsibilities. And so, but we'll get it fixed. Gavin Hampton, and he's a junior, and that was his first high school start. First high school start, and that's a lot of pressure on a 16-year-old kid. And I think he'll get better each week. You'll see him get better every week this year. And so we'll keep getting better and keep practicing. He's probably already talking to Coach Barnes today, trying to figure some things out, and that kid, he's our leader. He's fun to be around. Kids, and it's not that there's no dissension or anything going on. We just got to get better. Every skilled person on the offensive side is brand new. So it's going to take us a little time.
Absolutely a game that will make you better. I feel confident about that.
Yes, sir. Yes. That what they had up front, defensively, and then their skill kids were top notch. Tyreek, man, he's
going to UT.
We had him viced up for a 3-yard loss, and he broke. He broke a tackle and got 5 yards. And my defense coordinator just looked at me and said, "Yeah, he's good, coach." He is. He's a good football player. So, yeah. But again, seeing that talent is going to make us better.
No doubt about it, Coach. So I think that there was something that you wanted to send a little message about, something about Riverdale High School.
Yeah, the Riverdale community, has had a tough week. Gary Smith passed away last Saturday morning, and, it's been hard. The teachers, he was in the special ed department for the last 20-plus years, and, he just loved Riverdale football. Every week he would stop me in the hallway and just talk Riverdale ball. His son, when I started in 2009, his son was a basketball player at Riverdale, and he knows my brother-in-law, and me and Gary just always talked. We ran each other, and he always talked Riverdale football, and he never missed a game. He was always around and just always checking in, and through the ups and downs, he stuck through Riverdale football.
Well, Riverdale football, there's a lot of pride there. One of the things that I was proud about, Coach Fields. I see still Coach Fields on the sideline still. That's a good thing too. Yeah,
Coach Fields is still hanging around, and he's having a good time and enjoying it, man. He's young and enjoying it, and been around the community for a while.
If you want to see some excitement, head over to Riverdale next week, because you're at home against Father Ryan, correct?
Yes, we got next 2 weeks are at home. So we got a nice stadium, nice scoreboard, nice lights. It's a small college atmosphere, and I think they've done a good job creating that atmosphere at Riverdale.
Absolutely right. Sport and spectacle, Coach. We appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
The Coach Show is brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car. Professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com.